Hello everyone, and welcome to Slay the Spire 2. Today we're doing a grand finale run with the Silent on the session 1. Um, and right off the bat, we grab the upgrades for the next 3 card selections, and we will not get a relic. And yeah, just mapping out the path, and yeah, obviously we haven't gotten the grand finale yet. We are going to hit it at the end of this act. So, the beginning was, I wouldn't say slow. I was actually going for my favorite type of silent deck, which is a discard deck. I just love all the new discard synergies that were added for the Slay the Spire 2, and also I like them in the Slay the Spire 1, to be fair, even though they didn't get as much support as they do now. But yeah, that's usually what I start with. Obviously, I considered shivs because shivs are fun, but discards are more useful. Like if I don't know the direction I'm going to add in for the deck, I will put a couple of discards just in case, because you cannot go wrong with rotating your hand in this game. So yeah, pretty straightforward start. We haven't gotten anything crazy just yet, so just trying to maximize damage and minimize the damage we take, really. That's all it is. I do play quick, so mistakes happen. I will slow down for the later ascensions, but for now this works, so I'm just full throttle here. And it works alright most of the time. I mean, losing some health isn't the end of the world in the Ascension one, so not too worried about it. Yeah, this is our third upgrade. I went for the acrobatics, although piercing howl was definitely a solid choice there. But I figured, well, I don't have a direction for the deck yet, so let's pick one. And yeah, with the speedster here, I kind of decided, alright, discards it is. We have acrobatics, we have our discards, so we are rotating our deck. That means we are dealing damage with the speedster already, so was a sort of a win condition, at least something that can work towards the win condition. And yeah, went for the elite. Birdonis is definitely one of the least favorite elite enemies on this floor. Of course, Hydras are the worst, I would say. But yeah, you just cannot leave this fight without taking like 20 or so damage, unless you have some crazy defenses built in already. But again, you're getting attacked every turn, and the enemy keeps buffing themselves, so yeah. But here we can see the speedster at work. Like, I would have probably rotated cards anyway, and that way we got to deal 6 damage. So it's a pretty... Well, it was a strike on top of discards and card draw, so it was great. Tools of the Trade, amazing cards, often overlooked from what I've seen. But it's just great. It's extra card draw every turn, and he gets to enable your discard synergies for absolutely free. That's an instant pickup, I would say, in any deck, honestly. Unless there's something that's punishing you discarding stuff, like you're looking for a very thin deck with very specific combo pieces, then you might want to avoid. But otherwise, like, it works so well in any sort of deck. You just cannot go wrong with the Tools of the Trade. And the best part is it got upgrades to be a free power. So where's the downside, right? Yeah, still on the actually no, this isn't the easy pool already. Yeah, we had the beetle first, so things are getting a little bit spicy, but at this point I'm feeling very comfortable with the deck we have right now. We could use some more acrobatics, I would say, but we're not given any, so we play with what we've got. Free tools of the trade is probably the play here. More damage on Speedster is good, but I don't feel like we're lacking damage yet. Here on this boss, I believe I've mentioned this before, but yeah, I will usually play the utility cards if I have to play them, and on the then attack. Here we use these 2 turns really just to set us up, and only now are we actually planning to deal damage. Burning a potion here to save myself 10 HP. Not like I would have preferred if we had 2 blocks there to fully block, maybe wait for a better turn, but that's all we had, so that's what we'll work with. Yeah, again, this card I will probably use the acrobatics because it's utility, so we will deal more damage. It also deals damage. Like it's great. I love acrobatics with the speedster. And yeah, this fight becomes pretty straightforward once we have all of our setup out, and we get to just pretty much win on the spot here. Nunchucks seemed like a decent choice. Like it's free energy. We're not a poison build, so we're not using as many skills. We do primarily use attacks, and those attacks are not free, so nunchucks were a welcome sight. And yeah, this is our first boss, the stag. I'm trying to get my setup going on the first turn, but of course we don't get it. So we at least got our tools of the trade, but this also means that this turn we will have to play speedster. And it's not ideal. We're taking some damage here, but we have to get it out because that's part of our damage engine, and more importantly, I don't want to see it in future hands. So that's kind of one way of thinking about the powers, is that even if you don't need the power, like it's you didn't get all of your puzzle pieces yet, so you have this power which is just hangs out in your deck waiting for its time. If the fight is going to be a long one, you might as well play that power, even if it costs you some health, because usually in the long run it will save you health just by not being basically a curse in one of every few hands you have. So, but in this case, of course, we had to play it anyway. No harm, all good. Got through the first phase of the stag, got to deal some damage even, so we're on a good pace. Getting a little bit low. Yeah, didn't think that actually not on this turn, but the ringing debuff definitely messes up with your discards. So you have to watch out for that. But yeah, tools of the trade trigger the flick flack, and that was the only card we could have played there during the ringing turn. So for the next time, I'll definitely remember that. Yeah, another ringing turn. With this time, we discard the quest. We deal some damage. I was hoping this card would go through, but no. If you discard the card that says Sly, you're still kind of playing it, so the debuff prevented the damage, and we're getting low on HP, but so is the enemy. Definitely getting a little bit nervous, since next turn, yeah, we're not surviving without either block or killing the enemy. Luckily, we got to kill the enemy, so that's the Act 1 cleared without without the grand finale, but finally we're going to find it here. I did pick murder because again the plan was to draw, but we decided to transform our attacks and defense. and that's what we got. I was actually paying attention to the two cards we got, which was Reflex and what was it? Strategy? I can't remember now. But basically, those are very expensive but very good discard synergies. One gives you energy, the other one gives you card draw. So that was incredible, and that's that's the only thing I saw there. I saw Honda. I saw a couple of good cards. Tactician. There we go. Not strategy. Reflex and Tactician. Good cards. Great even. So Grand Finale didn't even fall on my radar, but here I saw it, but I was like, do I need to play it? Well, actually, that was an obvious choice, but I had some. I don't know why I doubted. I thought it's going to exhaust or something, so I was like, wait, I might need it to finish off the enemy. So I tried to play something different, and in the end, yeah, the Grand Finale was an obvious choice. I don't know why I hesitated here. Something was going through my mind, which was obviously incorrect. Why didn't I don't know. I'm watching this back now, and I was certain I had some sort of idea, but that's not it. And yeah, once we drew, the Grand Finale was not available, but I started paying attention to that. If you don't know, Grand Finale can only be played if there are 0 cards in your draw pile. So usually you will want to, add some draws, discards, preferably different types of draws and discards, the ones that have different numbers on them. I debated whether or not I want Grand Finale play here, but in the end, I decided, you know what, it's not that often that I get to play it, and it was a good sign that even without trying for it, we actually got to enable the Grand Finale. So I was like, all right, let's try to do this. We do have our discards and draws, so we are already halfway there to make it work. The only thing realistically that's missing, which makes Grand Finale so good, is retain. We need either to enchant the card and add retain to it, or probably a better choice, we need well-laid plans. It's a power that allows us to select cards at the end of the turn, which we retain, and that's what makes Grand Finale actually work in the lower ascensions, at least, because you just play it. Now, I was hoping there would be some sort of animation, because I'm fairly certain that in the first Slay the Spire you got some flower petals falling down on the screen, but not yet, not in the early access by the looks of it, but it was a nice flavor. Yeah, we're just playing as we usually would right now. I was obviously interested in making Grand Finale proc anytime I got it in the hand, but at the moment, like in this hand, it's not possible. So we just have to keep playing, keep moving, and hopefully not lose on the floor fights. That actually became a little bit of a concern, because we did transform all of our defense, and we didn't get that many defensive cards back. So we are in a damage race, I would say. Like, obviously we have After Image, but After Image isn't that great unless you're playing a lot of cards, and with 3 energy and pretty much no free cards at all, it's it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky. Yeah, so here we're forced to take damage, and the dream of Grand Finale is, is going away very fast. Yeah, Untouchable seemed like a good idea, but yeah, obviously we need to heal up. Like we took some damage here. We got rid of one of the quote unquote curses. Actually, that's probably the only one we had. So, our hands became better. We also gained some gold, and we actually found a store, and that store has well-laid plans on a discount. That's perfect. Yeah, here I was considering what I need to grab. I figured, well, with all the gold we got, we might as well get all the relics that are offered to us. And we just need to get rid of something. Finisher didn't make too much sense. Again, we are not making a lot of attacks. We're not playing many cards per turn. That's more of a shift thing. So, no point grabbing that. Yeah, no point grabbing the finisher. We got Piercing Well, which is a defensive card. We very much need it. It's not ideal, but in a pinch, it will definitely save you. We got yeah, Pen of Knives. I kind of forgot about it, but then I saw it and I'm like, oh shoot, actually Finisher might have worked with it. But the more I thought about it, I was like, well, it's only one turn when we get 5 shifts, so we have to have Pen of Knives and Finisher in the same hand, and also be safe enough that we can play all of both of them, because that's 3 energy already. So in the end, that was the correct choice. I don't regret it, and Pen of Knives does offer us some area of effect. Not ideal. It's only for 1 turn again, but it can work. And here we have Grand Finale, and we have 2 draw cards, and that's exactly what we needed. The Acrobatics wouldn't have worked because Acrobatics draws 3, so we draw 2, and then our discard pile goes into the draw pile, and it is no longer 0, so have to watch out for that. Realistically, we didn't need we don't really need any other cards at this point. Like we are not thick yet, the deck I mean, so we have plenty of control over the deck, and we got our well-laid plans. Like, that's it. We just need to calculate a little bit and we'll be fine. Now, obviously, I'm not doing much of calculation here. I'm just I'm just playing the cards. I do pay attention to how much we have, and I do see that, well, next turn we are, I thought, going to draw 5, and we keep Grand Finale and we finish the fight. However, Tools of the Trade, it makes you draw 6, and it's and immediately all my plans just went sideways, because I'm like looking, what the hell happened? This isn't the first turn. Why didn't I draw 5? What's going on? And yeah, I forgot that Tools of the Trade makes you draw 6, so that was not good. However, we still make it work, I think. No, wait, no, that was not enough to draw, so another turn with the Grand Finale missed. And now it's looking a little bit dicey. We are going to take more damage. So that's why the Grand Finale isn't super good. Like, it's obviously a very strong card, but you have to be very careful, because otherwise you go from dealing, 50 damage to no damage at all, just because you miscalculated something, or you played an extra draw, or a relic procced that gave you draw. those sort of things, something that you're not usually keeping track of all that much, because, well, if an extra draw comes, you're kind of happy. But in this particular case, you have to watch out. You have to pay attention. Yeah, keeping after image here, I do intend to play it. Drawing one less, I figured, might not be that good for us. It does impact how we draw, so calculations have to change. And yeah, I might not pay attention or forget quickly that we're drawing one less. Acrobatics here really is the correct choice. I decided to play Speedster first because we still need to play it, and also we're going to deal extra damage here. And paying attention that Tactician is not the one that draws cards for you. So right now we have our Grand Finale enabled. We actually have an extra energy thanks to the thanks to what? Thought it was nunchucks, but that's something different. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We got energy, yeah. We're using piercing whale, right? Yeah, to save ourselves some HP. Yeah, keeping expose here just because maybe we'll have a good turn when to use it. Yeah, reflex is safe here. We're at 8 cards. We're going to draw some more. We have 2 acrobatics here, so we're probably going to draw some more draws. And here they are. We have 2 dagger throws, which again will enable our Grand Finale because they draw 1 card each. And we play Sly. Extra energy doesn't hurt. Yep, making sure. I had to double check. I don't want to make any mistakes. And yeah, Grand Finale time. 75 damage thanks to the expose. Yeah, I mean it's not doing too much. Like obviously with just discards alone and some finishers or shifts, we could have probably been on the same pace. But at this point, it was just fun to play the Grand Finale, you know. I think we have this fight pretty much figured out. You know, here we were just hoping to see, well, anything really. We don't have Grand Finale in the hand. Actually, we do. Never mind. We do have it, and yeah, we had once again the discards to help us, and I used Hunt here, although I knew I will probably not need any of the offered cards. Like these can be put into the deck, but it's such a weird balance to try and keep, right? Because right now with 22 cards in the deck, we can get the Grand Finale to work fairly often, like if not every draw cycle, then at least every other draw cycle, right? And adding more cards to that can mess with us a little bit. So, you know, gotta pay attention and, you know, think what options you have. But yeah, things just progress normally from here. I am trying to avoid having too many floor fights, either regular ones or with the elites. I'm kind of getting a little bit disappointed in the power of relics compared to the power of cards in the game at the moment. It's like if you have a deck which is supposedly winning against the floor boss already, or you know is close to that, going after elites is just kind of an unnecessary risk. Like, yeah, if your deck is good, you'll probably take down the elites and you'll get some relics. But you know, on the off chance that you don't draw at the necessary turn enough defenses, will cost you health. And you know, if you lose like even talent health, and the relic you get is something you don't really need, it wasn't worth it. And suddenly you know, you have to take an extra rest, or you know, after you rest you're not full HP or you don't have enough HP, and that 1 or 2 HP was the difference between getting another turn on the final boss and getting them done, and getting, you know, getting pummeled and the run ends. Yeah, that can be frustrating. So I'm definitely rethinking my approach towards the elites in this game. But you know, then again, this is just the early access, so I'm hoping things will change. Either we will get more powerful relics, or I don't know, maybe elites will be toned down a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't say that the elites are too hard or something like that. It's just they don't feel worth it a lot of the time, and I don't like that. Yeah, that Sly was tempting. It's just a discard. I did end up going for the dexterity, although in the hindsight, that probably wasn't the greatest idea because we don't have that many block cards, so that one block won't do much. We got kunai, which works great with shivs and just regular attacks, but we don't do too many of those. And additionally, again, we don't need all that much dexterity, simply because we don't block that much, right? There's no point. And yeah, we got our energy, we got after image out, so we're kind of happy here. Trying to move along. Yeah, piercing whale here because I don't expect there to be a better turn for it. Might as well use it, right? Haste to deal some extra damage, but we didn't really need draw there. We have grand finale, but again, tools of the trade are actually messing with me, so yeah. I don't know why I kept using the hunts. Like, I knew at this point I don't need extra cards. Like, most of the cards I'm going to see are useless for me, so why do I bother? I'm just giving myself extra temptation for no reason whatsoever. Like, just don't pick up any cards. You're fine. You have your grand finale. You actually have a murder there as well, which still works quite well. Like, you know, there are good things there in the deck. And I was like, ooh, anticipate. Like, wait. I only have one defense. I don't need anticipate. I did go for the elites though. Just as I said, I'm rethinking my approach to them. But at this point, it was business as usual. I was like pretty much winging it. This fight isn't too crazy, save for the artifact that the enemy has, and yeah, it wasn't nice. I was like, ooh, piercing whale, and then I was like, oh wait, artifact. Luckily, we do have expose, so I hope I was paying attention. Yeah, I was. Perfect. Even after knowing that how this run ended, I'm still looking at the recording and just doubting myself. Did I pay attention? Because, you know, watching back, you see those small mistakes that you are making during the run and cringing a little bit. Yeah. Acrobatics for extra draw, of course. We got our grand finale. The well-laid plans are online, so we're good. Would have loved to see a little bit more draw, but I figured we should be getting our stuff here. However, we don't get our draw, and more importantly, we don't have that many defenses. And there's a big hit coming in. And yeah, draw 2 doesn't do what we need. It resets the draw pile, so we are in a bit of a trouble. We have piercing whale to help us, but I thought here that, well, first of all, we can get our energy back, but second of all, the 6 or 5 damage that we're mitigating isn't going to do much. However, we do survive with was 1 HP, so that was energy well spent. And here, yeah, we have to fish for the win. I had to risk taking burn, but luckily we got the defenses, so we're doing all right. We keep rotating cards because we need to finish the fight. So acrobatics with the speedster dealing damage is a little bit of a win condition. Realistically, we just need to get the enemy low enough that our grand finale does the thing. And actually, never mind, it was the murder that was going to do its thing. Almost discarded it because I was going to play it first. Just pressed it. Luckily, you do need to confirm what you're discarding, so that was good. Yeah. There was Deflect, which I considered as a block card, but there was also Backstab, which just exhausts itself. We picked up, I don't remember the name of the artifact. Basically, every time you discard, you deal damage, which works great for the discards. We picked up also a power that gives you thorns and dexterity. Realistically, I picked it up because it's a power, so it goes out of your deck once you play it. It has Sly, and we discard a lot. And it also offers you a little bit of thorns. That means a little bit of passive damage. Enemies are going to attack us regardless, so we might as well, make them suffer for it a little, at least. We got to rest side, and yeah, this is this is why the elites are so tough. Like, we would be feeling much more comfortable here if we didn't take that elite fight. The stuff we got from it, mummified hand was all right, but it's not game changing. Luckily, it is a good relic, obviously, and we make sure to use it. It's just like the HP we lost there wasn't worth this relic, I would say. If we had more powers, maybe. But here it's a little bit situational. Like, it does enable Fan of Knives, because again, you can make something free, but other than that, it's not too crazy. Also, you might notice that the Shadow Step is not used too much yet, but I'm paying attention to it. At very least now, the relic we bought in the store will deal damage whenever we play it. So even if we don't need it or don't expect the grand finale, we can still play it. So that's kind of good. That was a tough choice, but I realized that the enemies are not dealing damage this turn, so we can keep grand finale. We don't have to take the piercing whale. Yeah, counting cards here, paying attention what we've got. Escape plan to get something, but acrobatics is the correct play here because there are only 4 cards left in the draw pile. And yeah, I'm just using energy because we have Tactician in hand. I should use that, or actually, yeah, Tactician would be the play here. But I was calculating damage and realized, well, the fight is over, so doesn't matter. Otherwise, Tactician would have been used for extra energy because we get 2 energies, so we can still play the Flick Flack even just by paying its cost and then playing something additionally. And yeah, here we picked up Bullet Time, and we did that for one simple reason. Sometimes we don't get Grand Finale. That means I would probably want to play everything I have. Sometimes, there are some things that I would like to make cheaper, like if we're doing a setup turn, that would kind of work for us. And yeah, at this point, the Queen did make me a little bit worried because I realized if Grand Finale is one of those 3 cards that we cannot play, or we get some discards or card draws that we need to play, then it can be tricky. Like, obviously you can still work with it. Luckily we do have the draws for this fight, so I'm not too worried. We are at full health as well, so like, there are ways for us to win this, but it's not ideal. Yeah, fishing for some card draw now. You know, just something extra, looking for all my setup cards. Because even if we grab Grand Finale now, we are still 2 hands away from using it now. So, was a good choice. Didn't impact the way we play too much. There's Grand Finale, but I probably need to play the Shadow Step here. I should have played it. Was a better choice. I was kind of banking on being able to draw 6, and we actually did end up drawing 6, I think. Reflex would have been better. Actually, Reflex is still better, I would say. Ah, the Grand Finale. No, wait. No, it was all fine. Oh, yeah, right. I saw Dagger Draw, and I was like, alright, I can always discard Reflex with the Dagger Draw, so we're good. We're happy. Went for some armor, but didn't really matter. It's all the same, and... Oh yeah, we're weakened. Whoops. This doesn't finish the fight. Luckily, bullet time is here, so we can still play out our entire hand. Unfortunately, with the bullet time, the acrobatics doesn't work, but it still discards cards, so we could have played it, but we decided to keep it for the next turns, when we will need to hit 0 cards in the draw pile once again. Here, just trying to defend. I don't want to take 25 damage, so trying to cover the defensive side first, and then we'll think about damage. And at 18, yeah, we're happy already, so now we can start playing our cards, looking for the Grand Finale. It's in the bottom 3, and I'm looking at the cards now. We can try to draw it, but yeah, no chance. We don't have enough, so at this point, bullet time should be the play, and just play everything. Piercing Well has to be played as well, I would say, but... Oh yeah, we're fully defended, never mind. Yeah, then it's better to keep it a little bit longer. Grand Finale is out and about. Yeah, we discarded one of the cards, and here we're just fishing, really. 5 cards to go, and we're drawing 6, so wasn't the correct choice. I was hoping I would, get more of the discards here, but we did not, which messed up the Grand Finale here. And once again shows you why you shouldn't add too many cards. Because at 21 cards, 22 cards, we were hitting our draws very consistently. And now, sometimes you get bad turns. Luckily here, it didn't matter. We win. We discard, we draw, and Speedster wins the game at the end. But we did get to play with the Grand Finale. So, yeah, it definitely works. And it's definitely fun. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good day. And I'll see you next time.